Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lab Cyber. Now, this is a video that I wasn't expecting to make today because it is Saturday, and usually on Saturdays I'm chilling, I'm relaxing, I'm preparing for the new week. However, this was such a hilarious story that I had no choice but to switch on the camera and make this video. Now, apparently there is this app called T, which I promise you, prior to this morning, I had never heard about this app before. But it's supposed to be this app that allows women to vet men that they are potentially dating. So what happens here is that a woman can go on the app, post a picture of a man that she's dating, and then check to see if other women on the app have dated the same guy, and of course get feedback. You know, is he a good guy? Was it toxic? And of course, women can either say he's a green flag or he is a red flag. Apparently, they got breached and tens of thousands of users' data got exposed. Now, I'm going to talk about how they got breached later on in the video. First of all, I do want to go on a little bit of a rant because, in my humble opinion, apps like this should not be allowed to exist. Now, this is the founder of the app, okay? His name is Sean Cook. And the reason why he made this app was because his mother apparently kept dating scammers and criminals, and he wanted other women to not have the same experiences as his mother. So he created T. All right. Now it says here, are we dating the same guy? Ask our anonymous community of women to make sure your date is safe, not a catfish, and not in a relationship. Already shopping for dates on Tinder, Bumble Match, or Hinge, T is a must-have app helping women avoid red flags before the first date with dating advice and showing them who's really behind the profile of the person they are dating. Okay, now, inherently, I think the purpose of this app was actually, it had good intentions, okay? It's supposed to help women vet men and make sure that whoever they're dating isn't some criminal or some toxic person. However, there is a very serious double standard with apps like this, because imagine if it was the other way around, where you have men gossiping, basically, because this is what this is, it's gossip, okay? Gossiping about women. Imagine there was an app where only men could use the app, and all they do there is to talk about women that they've dated. That app, I guarantee you, that app will come under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism, and in fact, I'm pretty sure such apps will not even be allowed to exist. The app stores would say, oh no, this app is way too misogynistic and it's dangerous for women, so they wouldn't even allow that app to exist. But I guess when it's women doing the gossiping, then it's perfectly fine. Now, there is nothing to stop women from lying about the men that they have dated on this app. All right, like I guarantee you that the vast majority of women who use this app, even if they've dated the man that is being vetted, and even if the man was a good guy, or you know, he broke up with her for one reason or the other, the chances are she would say, oh, he was toxic, okay, he was a bad guy. Like, how many times have you ever heard a woman talk about her ex-boyfriend and she says positive things about him? It's extremely rare. Even if when they had a relationship, even if she was also toxic, even if, let's say, you know, both of them were toxic, but both of them were bad, she would always say it was the guy's fault. It's never her fault. No, she was perfect. She was an angel. She doesn't do bad things. It's always the guy, right? So I struggle to accept that the reviews for the men on this app will be fair, especially when the men can't defend themselves. And women can also post anonymously. That's another thing, okay? So in my humble opinion, these kinds of apps shouldn't be allowed to exist. And let me just say one more thing. The irony about these kinds of apps is that I guarantee you that the men on the app, right, the more red flags that they have, the more attractive they're going to be to a lot of women on this app. I guarantee you. You know that old saying about how women always go for the bad boys, the bad guys, they never go for the good guys because the good guys are boring? This would be a perfect example, okay? So it's kind of ironic that the purpose of the app is to stop women from dating toxic men or men with plenty of red flags, but I guarantee you that the majority of women on this app The more red flags a man has, the more likely they will actually go out on a date with that guy. I'm just saying, don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger, okay? I'm just telling you the facts, okay? So, with that out of the way, let's talk about how this app was actually breached. Now, what's very interesting here is that the app wasn't actually hacked, because for an application to be hacked, that means that some level of security had to be bypassed. Here's where things get very interesting, okay? This application, the database that contained the user records, had absolutely no security whatsoever. First of all, it was a public database, meaning anyone with the link to that database could access the records. And secondly, the records weren't even encrypted. I mean, this is like the bare minimum. The thing about the app is that before a user can join, the user needs to verify that they are indeed a woman. So they would have to take a selfie. They would then have to submit like the ID. It could be like a driver's license, passport, things like that. So ideally, whenever an application requests that its users upload such sensitive information, the bare minimum is that that information should be encrypted. But it gets even worse because T promised the users that, hey, once we've verified who you are, the IDs that you use for the verification purposes will be deleted, which is a smart thing to do. However, obviously, they never deleted any of the information. All the images, the user IDs, everything was stored in a public database and wasn't even encrypted. So this wasn't a hack. This was simply somebody getting the link to the database and simply accessing it. And it's insane. It just goes to show you that there are so many people out there, a lot of entrepreneurs and developers who don't think about security whenever they're making their products or their services, right? They'll always think about, oh, what can this product do? How much revenue can we generate? And not even a single thought for the bare minimum when it comes to security or ensuring that the information or data of your users is secured. So it was quite a big breach. It says in here that the over 72,000 images, including 13,000 selfies and photo IDs, and 59,000 images from app posts and direct messages were all exposed. So yeah, a public-facing database with no encryption, you're just begging to be breached at that point. So that's basically what happened. It's not some sort of like a big cybersecurity hack or anything like that. The database was just left unsecured and people were able to gain access to it. So that's pretty much it for today's video. If you're new here to the channel, welcome to Lab Cyber. My name is Alex. I talk about AI and cybersecurity. So if you do enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and of course hit the bell so they're notified whenever I upload a new video. If you enjoyed today's video, do give it a thumbs up, share the video with anyone who may feel might benefit from it. And of course, if you want to leave comments, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about this particular data breach? And what do you think about the actual app itself, the T app? Do you think these kinds of apps should exist? I'd love to hear from you. Put your comments down in the comment section below. Stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.